Welcome, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome everyone and happy Thursday. Today is September 10th, and today I am doing a little informational, educational seminar on suicide prevention. So the reason why I picked this to do today, and by the way, this is Charlotte from Urban Palms. The reason why I picked to do this today is because today is Suicide Prevention Day, September 10th. It is World Suicide Prevention Day of 2020. So I thought that today would be a great day to do that. So this day was organized by the International Association for Suicide Prevention, and that's the AISP. Now, the World Health Organization, WHO, they also have been a co-sponsor of this day. So, what is the purpose? What is a Suicide Prevention Day? So, a Suicide Prevention Day, the purpose of this day is to raise awareness around the globe that suicide can in fact be prevented. So that's why we are trying to help prevent suicide, make people more aware, and they made that special day, which is today, for that. So I want to welcome everyone for coming today. If you're on, say hi. Okay. So we want to try to prevent suicide. Somebody always knows somebody. And I know many people that have committed suicide. This is a very big topic. This is a huge increasing issue, especially now with COVID, and mental health is on the rise because of COVID. So I just wanted to bring awareness to it today and go over some things with you. So I just want to touch real quick on understanding suicide. So, why do so many people take their own lives? To those that don't understand suicide, depression, and despair, it can be difficult to understand what drives so many people to take their life. It can be difficult to understand why would someone do that? How can they do that? Well, a suicidal person, they're in so much pain that they don't see any other option at all. They have a desperate attempt to escape suffering that's just unbearable to them. And they're blinded by their feelings of the self-loathing, the hopelessness, the isolation, and they just don't see any other options for relief but suicide. So, this is a very touchy topic. This is a very, I feel like, almost like taboo topic that a lot of people don't talk more about this, because this is very important. Like I said, the mental health is extremely important as well. I've done 2 mental health seminars since March. I've done a couple of other seminars that touch on things that have to do with mental health. So I would definitely go back and try to find my seminars and watch them, because I think it can really help somebody out one day, whether it's not you directly. So I just wanted to go over real quick some facts that I have here. So did you know approximately every 40 seconds someone takes their own life? So that's quite a few people just within the few minutes that we've been doing this video here. So we're looking at least 800,000 people a year, up to 1 million, that take their own lives. And that is according to the World Health Organization. So in the USA alone, rates have been increasing by about 35%. And that statistics are based on since 1999 to 2018. They've increased about 35%. Now that makes me very concerned. I would like to see a decrease. I would like that percentage to be more like 1% or less, or none. But 35 is a pretty high number, so I'm curious to see what the statistics will show for 2018 to 2020. I'm really hoping the rate doesn't go up. That's why we're doing this suicide awareness video, to help raise awareness to suicide. So the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, they're calling this a public health problem. And it is a public health problem because a lot of it has to do with your mental health. And I feel like a lot of people ignore their mental health, including children mental health. Children also have mental health issues that need to be addressed, even when we're talking about like bullying, things like that. They also, the little people, they have mental health as well. So in 2018, over 10 million Americans, adults, thought seriously about committing suicide. More than 3 million made a plan, and 1.4 million attempted. Guys, that is a lot of people. 10 million people in 2018. So, like I said, this public awareness about suicide prevention is extremely important. And I encourage everyone to educate the public more about suicide awareness. 79% rates are from lower to middle income. And the leading cause of death, the third leading cause of death, is suicide between 15 to 19 years old globally. So we're looking at young adults here that haven't even lived yet. So fear escalated suicidal thoughts. There's fear being escalated regarding suicidal thoughts are going to be increased due to economic hardship and stress caused by COVID. So we've already seen a huge increase in mental health since March of 2020. So the COVID pandemic, this is a very big time, especially to get on board with mental health education, information, awareness, suicide prevention during the pandemic, because a lot of people are at home, a lot of people are isolated, a lot of people are not socially engaging like they used to. A lot of people are getting depressed, a lot of people are getting anxiety. They're getting anxiety about the pandemic, many different things. So the big question is, what can we do? What can we do to help prevent suicide? So number one, we're going to want to recognize the risks. So this is recognizing in yourself, in your loved one, your coworker, your neighbor, anybody that you can think of. Many don't talk about their thoughts in advance. They're not going to talk about and give you a hint and just say, hey, thinking about killing myself tonight, they're not gonna hint around. They're not going to really talk about, oh, I'm not feeling, like there's any other options. They're going to keep it to themselves. And that's why we need to recognize these signs and symptoms. Does the person have mood, anxiety, alcohol, or other substance use disorders? Do they have major physical illnesses, psychological illnesses? Do they have a history of trauma? Do they have a history of abuse and suicide in the family? These are all things that are considered risks, recognizing the risks. Have they had a recent loss of a relationship or a loved one where they feel like they don't have any social support, or they feel like they're lacking the feeling of a sense of isolation and they feel like they're alone? Most people are going to feel like they're alone. Do they have easy access to firearms or other weapons? And I always suggest that if you know someone in the home has mental health issues or they have been suicidal, I do not recommend having weapons in your home. Previous attempts to suicide. So that's a big risk right there. So some other warning signs are recognizing through words and actions. Like I said before, people aren't just going to hint, but they're going to do it. So be wary if your loved one begins searching online ways to kill themselves. Buying a gun, looking for prescription medications. Any of that kind of crazy behavior is going to be a risk. Getting their affairs in order, taking out a will, you're just seeing this odd, erratic behavior from them. Becoming preoccupied with death. So everything is about death. They're watching videos about death. They're, writing poems, and they're doing all these other different things you're seeing that are risks. So those can be concerning. Increasing their use in alcohol or drugs, sleeping too much or too little. They start behaving recklessly. So they start, they're going out, they're not using their seatbelt anymore, or they're driving drunk all the time. So just reckless behavior, things like that. Driving down the wrong side of the road, They appear agitated, rage. They talk a lot about seeking revenge. That is also a risk. Extreme mood swings. So this is somebody going from like euphoria, I'm on top of the world, I'm doing great, to just deep depths of depression. That's a major suicidal risk right there. Feeling hopeless. Feeling like they're trapped. Feeling like there's no reason to live. Withdrawal, isolating themselves from others. Unbearable psychological pain. Or talking about being a burden to your family or friends. So, all of these things that I'm discussing right now, these can kind of be tough to recognize right now in family and friends and loved ones during the pandemic, because we're all kind of isolated and we're all kind of alone. But so basically I would say these risks I just mentioned, you're going to have to be careful touching, seeing, if you're feeling in your gut like it's there, I say go with it. But based on some of the risks that I mentioned here, like sleeps too much or too little, they could have a job where they don't get a lot of sleep and they're stressed out. So that doesn't necessarily mean that they're trying to kill themselves. So you just really have to go with your gut and look at some of these signs and symptoms and things to recognize risks, to see kind of, are they at that level? This is why when you go to, if you've ever went to a counselor or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, they have you fill out like a little questionnaire, and it asks you, how much have you been sleeping, or How hopeless do you feel? Are you depressed? Do you think about depression every day? And then it has a scale like all the time, sometimes, one day out of the week, one day out of the month. Have you ever thought about committing suicide? So this scale is like a risk assessment for them to kind of judge and see where you're at. So be sure to call and check in on your loved ones and listen to them carefully, to their concerns and how they're expressing themselves. See how they're doing. Like I mentioned in my other videos before, that, you know, it doesn't hurt to call somebody and say, hey, how are you? How are you doing? How have things been going? If you haven't talked to them in a month or a year or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, just say hello. See how someone is doing. I like to be called and checked on and see how I'm doing, even if I haven't talked to someone in a long time. I have a friend that just lost her second husband, and I haven't talked to her in probably 7 years, maybe a few times over Facebook. And I can easily just message her today and say, hey, how are you doing? And things will be just like they were 7 years ago when I saw her. So it doesn't hurt to check in on people, and you would want someone to check in on you too. So if you're having suicidal thoughts, I want to give out a couple of numbers for help. And some people might feel like they just need someone there with them, or they just need someone to talk to. If somebody is reaching out to you and they are showing that, you know, they really need someone to talk to, and they've called you last night and you were busy and you couldn't really talk, and they called you again and they were like, you know, man, I really need to talk to you. I have a lot going on. I'm not doing too good. Give them at least 5 minutes. Like, give them 5 minutes just to hear their concern. See if it's something that they might need help with right then and there. Don't blow them off. Try to do a quick little risk assessment and see if is this something can wait. You can call them back when you get off work, or do they really need to talk to someone now? Which is why I want to hand out some of these informational numbers. So the first one is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. So the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, they have an actual website that has a lot of different information on it and all the different things they offer and what they can do for you. So the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline number is 1-800-273-8255. And this is free and confidential support that you can call if you need someone to talk to. And they are open 24/7, 7 days a week, all the time. They have somebody there. Thankfully, they also have a Spanish version, and that number is 888-628-9454. So, I'm sorry, excuse me. I don't know why I'm yawning. I wasn't yawning earlier. I think it's because of the thunder and the rain that's going on outside over here in South Texas, Houston. Okay, I'm going to put these numbers in the comment section later when I'm done with the video. I also have here 2 more numbers. So, within less than 5 minutes, they will respond on this one. This is the crisis text line. It is 741-741. And then they also have a Trevorlifeline. I didn't know they had this, and I think this is absolutely cool that they have this. This is a suicide prevention counseling for the LGBTQ community. So that number is 866-488-7386. So as I said, these numbers I'm going to put in the comment section below. And so I really hope that, you know, my video that I did today can reach and touch some people and help some people out, kind of understand what suicide is, what it's about, why people feel they need to turn to that, and how to recognize risks, warning signs, things like that. So if you're feeling, let's go to just, if you're feeling depressed and you're feeling isolated right now during COVID and the pandemic, we have to find ways to sharpen our mental health. This also includes with your children. This includes with your family, your pets, you know. Plan things. Go to the park, or, you know, take a walk, a nature hike. We have a lot of different, excuse me. We have a lot of different videos of resident professionals who have done nature walks, and I think they're really cool. Plan an arts and crafts activity for you and your family, or, you know, do a cooking excerpt for you and your family with your kids, something fun, or baking something. You know, create a nice dinner for two with your spouse when they come home from work, or you both come home from work. Just find ways to be creative and, you know, help sharpen your mental health during COVID. Getting good rest and good sleep also is something that is beneficial to your mental health. So I've talked before about not being on the TV or on your phone before you go to sleep, because the lights affect your brain and helping you try to go to sleep. So like getting a good book before you go to sleep would be good. So I'm going to go ahead and end my video unless anybody has any questions, concerns, or comments about the Suicide Prevention Day seminar that I did. And like I said, please go check out my other videos regarding mental health. And I have other great videos, workout videos, cooking videos, homemade scrub videos, water infusion recipes, all kinds of different things. And you can go to either, you can put in Urban Palms under the TI Enrichment Program website, or you could just type in Charlotte. And then also please go check out all of our other videos that our resident professionals have done as well here at TI Communities. So thank you everyone for joining, and if you didn't join live, thank you for watching the video later on, and I will see you guys next week on Tuesday, and I hope everyone has a lovely, safe weekend. Bye.